Namaste viewers, and welcome to our new series on the Auroveda channel. And this series is called Contemporary Masters. And I'm so delighted and privileged to introduce all our viewers to a living master, not only a contemporary master. Guruji Pranam and welcome to our podcast.
Thank you, Makranji. I am very happy to be here.
Thank you, Guruji. So Guruji's sort of full name is Nandkishore Tiwari ji. So we will plunge into it right away by asking Guruji, how did all of this happen? How did you take on this very, very difficult, I would say, and yet the most important role of being a living guru to thousands and thousands of people? But just before that, I only want to say one thing to our viewers, both in India and abroad, in the US or wherever, that one of the great things about our country, the country that we all belong to and love so much, India, Bharat Mata, call it what you will, is that we've had a continuous, not just a tradition, but a continuous history of sadhus, sants, mahatmas, sages, saints, mystics, rishis, munis, self realized masters. And so that is one reason that we started this series. And I'm happy to say this is not something in the distant past, okay? It's not just, the Vedas or the Upanishads. It's a living tradition. And that's what makes Sanatana Dharma so special. So, with these words, Guruji, over to you. Thank you for so much for joining us. Thank you.
So very rightly you said ours is a living parampara because when we call Sanatana Dharma or Sanatana Guru Parampara, so very word Sanatan means present here and now. And when we enter into time, then we say eons of time, time immemorial, because that is the second stage of addressing ourselves. But essentially, eternity means here and now in this moment. So this parampara continues because from where it originates, even if you take the name of Sanatana, there were four brothers. So listening, we call it Shruti Parampara. The idea was if one of them was speaking, other three used to become the audience. Then one of them, another take the role of speaking, other three again become the audience. So Shruti has been from the very beginning. It is there, and that is the way it gets transferred from one person to another or one generation to another. So this, this is how it is. So there is you, everywhere this is accepted. Everybody comes to this conclusion, even if they reason on their own. Their
Yes,
journeys will be different.
yes, yes,
The
yes. Guruji,
beginning
we
and
will come
conclusion
to
will be
the
the same.
Yes, we will come to the
Hmm.
essence of Sahaj
Yeah.
Smriti Yog because
Yeah.
viewers, it's impossible to actually introduce a living master, but Guruji is the propounder of the Sahaj Smriti Yog, which we will talk about in the following episodes, and also of the Darpan Foundation. There's a beautiful ashram, in Tamil Nadu on the border of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, where there is a whole program of national and, in fact, world regeneration. So we'll come to that slowly. But, everybody wants to know, though in our tradition we don't ask about Purvashram. In other words, we don't ask because it's a mystery how a person comes into that, self recognition, realization, call it what you will, or enlightenment. We don't normally talk about Purvashram, but nowadays viewers are curious that, what was Guruji like earlier? And you can tell us, but I know you were a very eminent journalist. You worked for Rajasthan Patrika, your views were highly respected. And that's one reason, if you listen to Guruji, he has a tremendous understanding of all the, geopolitical developments because of his background. But Guruji, you can tell us about your own journey if you don't mind, if I may request you.
Sure. So, like in any uh, family, we were a family of farmers. So my birth happened in a family. My father and mother, they are farmers both. So, but our birth was predicted. Somebody had come to our house and it was told to my father's young elder sister that because he was not getting married, this he had crossed around 25 of years of age. At that time, it was a long one. Generally, people used to get early. So she was worried and she asked somebody that my brother, why he's not getting married? God has given us everything, so much land and everything, but why he's not getting married? Then some sadhu told her that he will not only get married, he will have 5 children. Eldest will be the daughters, and there will be 4 boys. And then that sadhu disappeared. That is the where it became little mysterious for people. He came into was a small village, and by the time my father said, "Where is he?" He said he will be here only, but he was not found anywhere. So it was, and exactly that way it happened. He got married, and I had an elder sister, one elder brother, 2 younger ones. I am in the middle. So this happened like that. And when I was around 2.5 years of age, I had certain experience. Actually, in our family, we come from Rig Vedic parampara. So there used to be Rig Ved before my say great grandfather, and then they came down to Valmiki Ramayana. And when I was born, that time it was Tulsi Ramayana, that is Ramcharitmanas. The continuation was there. The Parayana was every day, every evening, without fail. Family will sit and it will be read. So they will sing and explain. And others, those who are small, they will listen. So I was at that time very small, around 2.5 years of age or two, that way. So I found that I could read while I was yet to be, I had not even started speaking. Forget about my introduction with letters. But I could read very clearly. But my father noticed that the lips are quivering. Something is happening there. But I thought in my mind I am reading out loud. So he said, "Look, this boy is trying to say something." Then I started crying and said, and I slept because that time my ego was hurt. That was my first introduction with the ego. That I am singing better than all of them, and he is just saying that he's trying to say something. So that time, that memory stayed graphically with me. When I started speaking or learned these letters and all, went to school, but that lingered in my head. That how could I read? So that way, my seeking kept continuously happening within me because small children, nobody listens that way. They will ask some curious questions and all. But I used to go to wherever I could find a saint or sadhu and whatever I wanted to ask, I will ask. But mostly, whenever I went, I said, I will ask this and he will answer this. And that used to happen. So I lost interest somewhere into that also. Going, what is the point? If I only am playing this game, then there is no other player. So I will have to figure out it on my own what it is all about. Otherwise, my childhood was like normal, like any child. There was nothing which I could call outside. It was any special. And then I went everywhere the way anybody goes. So this is how it was beginning. And later on, as the curiosity increased, so everything kept happening within me. One time when I was going for the civil service exams, so I ran away from this mains exam and went to Himalaya. That no more doing. I will keep on proving people what that I can do this also, I can do this also. It happens in peer groups, no? They say you can't do this, you can't do this. That I can do this also, I can do that. I said enough. proving I am going on my own way. So there I realized something, and then I came, and then rest is the journey. So these are the few points, because 15 minutes you said, so 15 minutes are complete. So I am stopping there because it's endless.
It is endless. I mean, we don't have to have a hard stop at 15 minutes as such. I was just also curious that this Ramcharitmanas, आपको अभी भी वो कंठस्थ है. अभी भी आप जब प्रवचन एकदम वो रामचरितमानस, तो वो तो
Yes.
मतलब पहले से थे, पहले से था आपके, मतलब जहन में ये पहले से है, या आपको फिर दोबारा पढ़ना पड़ा इसको?
So, to tell you clearly, I have read that only 3 times. I keep it always with me, but only 3 times I have read it. So, but it so happens when it appears that I remember everything, but only those things will come what is needed when. So, at one point of time, it was, I think, there's no fun, because remembering verbatim everything, it was not going well with my way of learning. That was appearing to me that no, it's a waste of time. If every time I keep repeating and remembering it, this is not my way. I just want to keep the essence, what is there. But it somehow, the way things are, it somewhere rests in our consciousness. And when we are open to it, automatically it will come, whatever is needed.
And the
So
same with the
essentially,
Gita. You quote from the Gita also
yeah,
spontaneously. So that
yes,
has also sort of entered into the mind,
yes.
or
I think with Gita, more it is like this, that if you are keenly reading it, it is not one verse after another. It is a journey. One word leads to another. Like they say, Buddhya, Vishuddhya, Yukto. So if your Vidya, Vishuddhya, Yukto, Dhritatmanam, Niyamacha, Shabdadi, Vishyan, Tyaktva, Rag, Dvesh, Vidushcha. So what I am trying to say is, Buddhya, Vishuddhya, when you say, and you purify your intelligence, intellect, so you will become Yukta. So Yukto is not another word, it is another stage. Once you practice first letter or first word, you are ready for the another. When you become Yukto, then you become Dhritatmana. Because where you Yukti or Yoga, your Yuja, where it has to happen. Between Atma and Paramatma, what we call. So when you are Yukto, then you become Dhritatmana. Then you become the Niyam. Then you come to know all are what these Niyamas and Niyamas. Because Yama is already included in the Niyama. Niyama. So because the language is like that, he has to concise in a verse. He can't tell anything. So one word has multiple meanings. That is why when we say, then we reaches to this heart temple. Then we get Sahasrar. That the 1,000 meanings of the one Varna comes. Now, which trajectory you will follow? You have a limited time. So you choose one to say, or that one chooses you to say. Either way, it can be told. So this is how it happens. Then he says, Sabdadi Vishyan Tyaktva. Then you go beyond words, you don't want to speak anything. But that is a role. If role is that people come to know how mysterious this is, how wonderful this is. So this way, Gita is in this manner different. It is very compact poetry, where you can clearly see how from one stage to another stage we are moving. In Ramcharitmanas, it is a little bit different in this sense that we live it in life. It is more of a family life, society life, everything, your internal life, everything in a very balanced manner. So Tulsi has done that. He has given a very balanced, you see, example he set before us, that everybody can find something or the other. And as it is written, it is clear also. What he is saying is correct, in fact. Vicharo Ved Puran Ashtadas, that is there in it. Chamu Sastram Granth and Chorus. Depending on if we have gone through it, we'll find it everywhere. That is why these two, especially in Hindi heartland, they everybody imbibes them and they become very their life. As if you have quoted something from Ramcharitmanas or Gita, they say ultimate, now nothing else needed. That almost has become life here.
Yeah, it's almost like Shabda Praman, as you said,
Yeah,
in the Sanatan Parampara, from the Rig Veda to Valmiki Ramayana to Ramcharitmanas. It's a continuous
exactly.
stream. And as you said, in your family also it lives like that. But can I just ask you a little bit about your time in Rajasthan Patrika or even prior to that as a journalist? How did that happen?
So when I told you when I quit the UPSC and I went to Himalaya and then I came back, so then I had to do something because I then think were clear to me. So something, what could I do? I had not taken any training. So I was like, okay, I knew writing. So that I went for an interview and they say, I just want to make you in charge of my this thing, uh, magazine. I said, let me do something first, then you make in charge. And no, straight you become in charge. Then this is how it started. So I started with a fashion magazine called Desire in English. So then later on, founded another magazine. I started Spectrum. The civil services and all that publisher they are for the civil servant aspirants. They write. There also I edited that, and then various others I went, and then I because Ruma moved here in Bangalore, I came here. So I saw the Rajasthan Patrika there, newspaper. Until then, I was not even knowing, to tell you the truth, that such a newspaper exists. Though it was the fourth largest, but I had no idea being in Delhi. So then I said, oh, do you have some work here? So they said, no, I will make you in charge here. You take this. I said, you give me anything, I'll take. They said, no, this you take. Then they gave me these editions here. So Bangalore edition, Hubli edition, they started Goa. So that I did that way. So it was like I had to do something. So I came into the journalism because I was not trained for anything else
But,
other
but
than
but you were
writing.
trained for something else. We'll come to that in the next episode. But in all, you spent how many years in journalism
So when I
totally?
had joined, I had told this last was the Rajasthan Patrika. So through them, I had told he said his own words came. Word has been an important thing in my life from the very beginning. So just like casually he said, तिवारी जी 2-3 साल तो रहोगे. So then I said 4-5 साल कहीं नहीं गया मैं. So this was in words conversation, and within 4 and 5 years, I said, now you figure out somebody else.
Else.
Then
But
so
totally, in terms of career, you spent, would you say, about
around 25 years, 25.
25 years? Okay,
Yeah.
that's a fairly long innings. And wonderful. So, on this note, we'll see what happens next. What made you say, okay, enough of journalism, enough of service.
Uh,
Now we will start another एक दूसरा पड़ाव जिंदगी का and I know you've told me the story, but viewers would like to know how you took permission from Guru Ma before you, as it were, left the Grihastha ashram and
uh,
went to an Atita ashram beyond all ashramas, because Guru is
uh,
not bound by any ashram. So we will come to that in our next episode, Guruji. So thank you so much for giving us your time. Viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And do tune in to the next episode of Contemporary Masters. Namaste.